Hey y'all, it's Alexander Quinn here, your friendly advisor, and today I'm going to be talking about how to sell anything. All right. So, tip number one is that people buy emotions, not things. You need to figure out what's going to get them to spend money. When you decide that you're going to spend money on getting food Uber to you or whatever the case is, it's usually because you want something, you want that convenience. You're not actually paying for the delivery. You could do the delivery yourself. You're not even paying for the time. You haven't calculated that you'd rather not spend the time, at least most of the time. Usually the main reason is because it just feels so convenient. It's easy to fall into that, to get that nice little rush when you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna have this food in no time, da 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 da, etc. Same for why we purchase food that is way more expensive um, than if we just made it ourselves, even if it would, a lot of things we do. Why do they put candy bars in the checkout aisle, etc.? So people buy emotions, not things. We pay for the gym not because we are going to use it, but because we hope we're going to use it, because that actually is a hurdle. If we don't pay for it, we probably won't. We almost definitely won't. But we buy it so that we don't have that hurdle, because then we can use it, so that it's easier to hopefully encourage ourselves to go in and make it less of an emotional struggle. So anything that we typically do is paying for the emotion, not actually the thing itself. And that works for products as well. We want the newest and best. Why? We like the idea of the newest and best. If it didn't exist or it was a year ago, we would have gotten a different thing, which is currently not the newest and best. And so we would have been fine with it because at that time it would have been the newest and best. But once we have that a couple years later, again, we want the newest and best. People pay for emotions, not things. That's also why a lot of things that come out from companies is not holding together all that well, because people pay for it even if it's buggy, especially if there's a gamble to where it could be great. AI is doing that a lot, where it seems like theoretically it could do everything for you, be your assistant, write a book, whatever. It seems like it's so easy to get rich off of doing almost nothing, and it's a convenient fee, and it's nice, and I want to see the latest tech, and oh no, it's going to take over. I'm kind of curious on like getting familiar with it, and once you're worried, now you want to work with it more, you get familiar with it, it's not as scary, etc. Like everything we do, it's buying emotions, not products. Okay, that's what people pay for. There's talk of pink tax. If something's pink, people charge more for it. That's because people are willing to pay more for it. It's not because males and females and women should pay more for things. It's just simply what people pay is what people will charge for it. It's equilibrium. People charge more if seats are in higher demand at a stadium, etc. So and it depends on the team as well. So it's not a tax for a specific state. It's just that's just how it is. All right. So if you want to sell something, people buy emotions, not things, and that's also why people are watching this video right now. Okay. So that's tip number one. Absolutely, for any business, I recommend starting with that mentality, because you kind of can't go wrong. Even if it were wrong, I can't think of a situation, but I can imagine that there might be a situation where that may not be exactly the case. I do think that it still wouldn't steer you wrong, because you still would be in the right direction, or you would obviously see, okay, this is not for me, or my business is a little simpler. I don't need a lot of these competitive concepts to stay in the game. It just kind of sells itself, and that's fine. So this advice doesn't hurt anyone, and I think it's beneficial to at least 99.99% of people out there, whether it be for a business or even to understand yourself and be healthier, and understanding what you're really paying for in your life and what you're giving up when you could spend that money kind of on who knows what else. Maybe just having a nice afternoon at home with your family, playing a new board game that you bought or something, or buying something nice for your kids and watching them be cute and funny and ridiculous. um, or maybe you get that new thing even with this understanding, and you enjoy it that much better because you really make sure you enjoy it. Like when you get a sandwich, you bite into it, and you get a sandwich because you think it's going to taste good, but then you kind of like shovel it down and you don't remember what it tastes like. So that again, you bought the emotion, not the thing, but maybe now you'll actually enjoy that and get your money's worth by being like, oh yeah, this is so good. And that actually is healthier because you're happier, you get more out of it, you actually get the emotional benefit that you hoped to get by actually paying attention. But also, if it's not as rewarding and you notice it really was just the dopamine rush, then you actually are less inclined to get it next time. I've personally experienced that. So but I hope this helps people out there to just kind of do better in business, to actually have a healthier mindset with themselves, etc. I kind of was trying to do too much with that goal, but that's what I do, I guess, sticking my nose in things and giving advice where it's unsolicited. But anyway, so there you go. Tip number one is people buy emotions, not things. All right. So tip number two is it's called the XYZ method. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically X, Y, and Z stand for the different stages in it, and it's about why someone would buy a thing. You have to figure out why someone wants to buy a thing. This is similar to the emotional method, but this is actually the most effective thing that I've seen, other than just kind of the concept of people buy emotions, not things. So this is what was the most solid concept and can kind of put some more concrete structure to how you can get someone to really purchase something or figure out what is the way that they'll purchase it if they would. If there's any way that they would purchase it, then how would they do it? So basically, it starts with why would they want this? Figure out what are their goals, what are their inspirations, what are their motives. I had to do this a lot when I had to sell contracts that were for tens of thousands of dollars to people, to individuals, wealthy individuals, for them to sign up for benefit programs, to like fitness gurus, just all types of crazy high end stuff. Not as high level as actors, but still people that were much more wealthy than the average person. Okay, and everyone wants to say no, and everyone knows that people are trying to sell them something, and you can't trust the person who is selling it to you. So I had a big uphill struggle, or not struggle, battle with it. Okay, I did pretty well on my own, but what I found the most helpful over time was the XYZ method. And basically you figure out why they want this, and you figure out what in their goals actually give them a dream, give them an image if they haven't thought about it that much, or if they have but they just don't know how this is going to lead to that, etc. Give them that dream, or find out what that dream is, find out what their motives are, and then once they start thinking about it, they'll be like, yeah, I do want to look great. Who doesn't? Okay, yeah, I do want to be healthy, because we're all scared of the unknown factors that most of us don't know why we need to be healthy or eat right. We just know we're supposed to, and so we all have, most of us have that constant fear. But yeah, just so figure out what their motives are, figure out what matters to them. And some unethical people do fear mongering or scare tactics, etc., which is a similar method. But I don't want anyone out there doing that, but I want to use it as an example so you can kind of see how this ties in even with other methods as well that have been effective, etc. But yeah, figure out why they want it, why they would want it. This can help with your general business strategy, but at the moment I'm just kind of talking how to sell to a person, since the topic of the video is how to sell anything. All right. But you also can do this for your demographic. Figure out what your demographic wants, needs, desires, and figure out, okay, how do I how do I connect with that? Either make it so they're thinking about that, or they're reminded of that, or you have it in an ad, or you whatever, or it's like part of your slogan, or if it's something they already probably are thinking about or conscious of without you reminding them, or without you getting them to expand on that thought, then it still is a way to where, okay, I know I need to tap into this. So figure out what they want, figure out how what you're going to produce is going to get them there, and then make sure that they understand that, make sure that they believe that, make sure they feel like if they do this, if they sign up for this today, that they will get that benefit. And that is how you get people to just really sign on and say, yes, I want this now, da 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 da. So what I did was I would actually put them through a little training course myself, and I would show them the different techniques that would make them feel sore immediately, even if they had been exercising for a while or had a fitness trainer already. There are 3 core muscles that are typically underworked no matter what, and so I would just kind of work out those muscles and show them that they were missing certain key aspects that made it so while they were strong, they didn't have practical muscle. They couldn't actually apply it in particular ways. And so I showed them that I had a more holistic approach that would make them actually healthy, fit, instead of just having big muscles, etc. But also other ways as well to handle people that were less macho, etc. So I had a couple of different approaches, but for the most part, it was the same thing. Why do they want this? And then how do I make sure that they understand that signing up for this gets them what they want? All right. And so now finally, tip number 3 is positivity. So if you really want to sell something, I'm going to keep this one short, but positivity, don't don't bring up the negative aspects of if you think they might be worried about something, try not to explain that. I run into that all the time. I try to be transparent and let people know, hey, here's a warning, here's why this is not, why this might not be the case. My experience is limited. There's other theories out there that seem to work, etc. And if you say, it's kind of like if you say, hey, don't worry, I'm not a scammer. Well, the most common feedback I got was, well, I wasn't thinking that, but now I am. All right. But staying positive also helps you stay confident. It makes you seem more like the authority on the subject. If you're more direct, if you're kind of quick, not rushing, but you are succinct and concise in the way that you speak and approach, then people are like, okay, I understand. Yeah, this seems easy and painless. Like they feel like they can just sign up, go, and move on with their life, and it's not going to be complicated, and there's not going to be too much oddity going on, nothing unexpected. So that's my 3rd tip, is just basically keep it positive and maybe keep it simple. Anyway, I hope that helps somebody out there. You all have a wonderful day.